Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about Xbox because the president of Team Green, Sarah Bond, published a very strange video last night talking about the uselessness of exclusive games. She straight up said the idea of it is just outdated, that it's antiquated. All these other companies that are making tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars, like Nintendo, like freaking Sony, apparently they're doing gaming the wrong way. Now, instantly, there is this unique debate about her statement. Basically, instead of just saying, you're wrong, you're dumb, because obviously her statement is provably incorrect, a lot of people are sort of debating whether this is a signal to the end of Xbox. Like, is this sort of a final statement? Is Sarah Bond about to be fired? Is Phil Spencer about to be fired? Let's break it down, because honestly, I do sort of see this as a final death rattle from the Xbox, even before this next gen is officially revealed. Let's get into it. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be honest, I am terribly sick today. I've actually been in bed all day just feeling awful, but I figured, all right, if I'm going to be sitting in bed, I'd rather get up, make a video. I love making videos, right? Okay, so here we go. Exclusive games are an antiquated concept, says Xbox president Sarah Bond. According to their research, they're seeing more people evolve past locking themselves down to one device or one store. The biggest games in the world are all everywhere, whether it's Fortnite, COD, Roblox, games that are literally playable on your phone, on your PC, or anywhere, right? But I feel like this argument immediately on the face, it seems so circular in nature. The company that is at the back, that cannot sell exclusives, that can't sell consoles, is claiming, oh yeah, that's just the thing. Nobody's buying consoles. Nobody's buying games. It's just such a silly argument. I mean, you can literally look at their numbers. The Xbox Series X and S are ridiculously below everybody else, just in any market and margin. Now, of course, this is just Japan where they're already selling the worst, but even when you look at worldwide sales, Xbox continues to do worse and worse and worse quarter after quarter. And I do feel like a lot of that is the fact that they just don't have exclusives. Like, if you're thinking about it at this point, right? PlayStation is experimenting with putting more and more of their games on PC. And I feel like they're doing two things extremely right. First, timed exclusives. I think that Sony is being very smart where they go, okay, here's the game. Buy it. We advertise the hell of it on PlayStation 5. We sell you a ton of PlayStation 5 consoles. We do limited edition controllers and stuff. And then once that's bought, once that's sold a bunch, okay, now 6 months or a year later, we get a second hype cycle. Oh, you saw the trailers, you saw the discussions, you saw the Game of the Year awards. Now you can buy it on PC. And we've got our own team of developers that make these hyper-optimized PC ports that support widescreen and 200 frames a second and stuff. I think that Sony does a good way of basically saying, okay, the PlayStation is over here and it's still very vital. It's still a core part of our business, but simultaneously, yes, you can play our great stories anywhere eventually. And I do think it's funny to see specifically Xbox, the people that are just so way out in the last, claiming that everybody else is somehow missing out on some magic that only they've discovered. This kind of feels like whenever you see those people that are like standing outside a nightclub and they can't get in and they're like, you know what, I bet it sucks in there. Brother, you can't get in the club. Like, you're the guy outside the club just saying that everybody else is having a bad time. Look at these comments. It's very important to understand that the decisions of Xbox leadership's incompetent business decisions caused this. They're only calling exclusives antiquated because they've ruined the value of their first-party games by having them drop in Game Pass day one. Don't let them gaslight you. This is an interesting statement. I feel like this person phrased it perfectly, and I think it's something people are beginning to repeat more and more, which is that Game Pass accidentally created this cheap idea around gaming, right? Oh, you can pay for a $70 experience like Ghost of Yotei or $60 for Astrobot. You can have these big premium experiences that are fun and crazy and in-depth, or you can pay a tiny fee, or what was a tiny fee before the 18 price increases of Game Pass. There used to be this duality of like, okay, AAA experiences, which are good, or Xbox experiences. And I'm not claiming that's 100% ubiquitous. There's definitely been good Xbox games, you know, here and there, but I think it's interesting that they have almost cheapened their brand and told people it's not worth the price. They've basically been telling you now for years, our games are not worth full price. Saying this when Nintendo and Sony have sold multiple times your hardware is a thing. saying exclusives don't matter means your console is in dead last. Checks out. This is funny, is that Sarah Bond is the person, genuinely, one of the times she seemed the very happiest on stage was when she officially said, yes, Starfield is an Xbox exclusive. And it's funny that, honestly, it became kind of a catastrophe. I still think about the fact that there is 50 times more people playing Skyrim than will ever play Starfield. Ever, right? It is still weird to just think about the fact that, I mean, there are some rumors they're trying to essentially rebuild Starfield. They're trying to like cyberpunk it and just 1.0 make a completely new version of the game. But it's such a dead brand at this point, just like Xbox in general. But I think it's interesting that as Xbox goes more and more third party, I'm curious to see what happens to these studios in the long run, right? Like there's talks that on Friday, apparently, they're going to reveal not just Halo coming to PS5, but specifically, they're going to show a trailer for the original Halo, which is still my favorite. Halo 1 is getting a full remake, which a lot of the rumors said that it's going to have sprinting. It's going to be like a mix of like Halo 5 and Halo 1, which some people are mad about. Personally, I think that's going to be real fun. But there is talks that this is going to be revealed and maybe even something shadow dropped for the PlayStation 5 on Friday at the Halo World Championships. This is not just wild. I feel like this is a statement about the fact that at this point, I almost believe that Xbox reviles their own fan base. They're basically at a point where they've said, hey, you guys let us here. You didn't buy stuff. You didn't show up. You didn't get your friends to buy it. It's just not worth it. We're just going to go to where the money's at, whether it is PC or Nintendo or PlayStation. We're going to go where we actually get paid. Now, I've seen some people talking about the fact that do exclusives really matter? I do think they do. Like Ghost of Yote obviously just came out a couple weeks ago. Even with just 2 days of sales tracking, is now the 18th highest selling game of the year, number 4 October game. This is pretty good. That means that it sold the same amount of numbers as Ghost of Tsushima with a much lower install base. So I think it's interesting that provably, I think that Nintendo is doing, of course, the smartest path, which is having all their own studios, making stuff as low budget as possible, making it exclusive forever, that kind of stuff. But I still feel like I like Sony's strategy. I just wish they would do it better. I feel like my main frustration is that PlayStation puts out so little games. It's wild to me that when they cranked out the most exclusives ever, the PlayStation 4, it was exclusive, first party and third party. They were actually going to people whose games were like 70% done and saying, hey, we'll help you finish it. We'll optimize it for the PlayStation 4, but you got to make it exclusive for 5 years. A bunch of people took those deals because the PS4 was so big. I do feel like this generation, PlayStation just expects everything to come to PS5, and thus far they've been right, and it's making it where these really 10 out of 10 games, I love Ghost of Yote a lot. I wish we got these more than like once a year at best, right? But I want to take a look at this tweet by Tim Dog. Now, Tim Dog has done a bunch of Xbox leaking in the past. He definitely has a lot of sources and stuff inside of Xbox, but I think that a lot of his statements come from a place of jilted lover, which is that he has been a very Xbox diehard. I mean, admittedly, if you've ever heard of this guy, he literally for the last 10 years, actually closer to 15 years, has been out here just banging the drum for Team Green, popping trophies, collecting stuff, being happy about the state of Xbox. And now he feels super annoyed that why has he ever cared about an Xbox console? He has said straight up, he doesn't want to just build a Windows PC. He likes the console experience. And at this point, next gen probably is just going to be a hybrid Windows machine with a version of like a Game Pass app. But I want to he says, this is what I think is going to happen here. The era of Phil Spencer is done. He'll retire at the Game Awards. Either way, clearly not calling the shots. It is weird how little we see Phil Spencer these days, right? The rumors of hardware, the things I heard, the sneakers, there was that leaker sneakers we made a couple of videos on. Sneakers have been posting these leaks that apparently there's just no manufacturing for next gen really right now. There's no like real actual even spin up of stuff happening with current gen. Apparently they have so many Xboxes in the warehouse, they're being told officially, don't even bother making Xbox Series X. We have so many sitting here, we'll sell them by the time next gen comes out. The next Xbox being a PC hybrid with a marketing scheme to guise itself as an Xbox to go after the hardcores and go after the pre-built PC market. Blue Ocean. This is like their weird Azure cloud-based service, a lot of their AI. This is what the talk is. Everything Microsoft is talking about right now is this stupid AI stuff. Oh, the AI will write you emails. Oh, the AI will finish your spreadsheets. They're super, super all in on this idea of basically having this AI that'll help companies work. And a lot of the talk about it publicly is that they're basically trying to find a way to get every other company to buy into their AI marketing style thing. Hey, this will optimize your workplaces. They care about that way more than anything else. They don't care about Word. They don't care about Xbox. All they care about is this AI right now, right? But here's the thing. In order to put processors, to put the power into an Xbox that could run even the idea of this blue ocean tech, very likely next gen is going to cost $1,200 to $1,500. That way they get a profit with their 30% margin. He imagines it'll sell about 2 to 5 million consoles total for next gen. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is just, it's so pathetically destructive. And I have to admit that part of the funniness is the idea of Xbox, of all people, saying, this strategy of exclusives doesn't work. Brother, you never tried it. I mean, you're the guy who's never worked out telling the guys that are actually working out that they're doing it wrong, right? Hit the gym, brother. What the hell? The writing is on the wall for Xbox. They are done. There's literally no point in owning the new Xbox whenever it releases. Satya Nadella is not interested in gaming and is all in on AI. The Game Pass model has collapsed. Failures and layoffs have destroyed the game dev morale. From a marketing standpoint, there is no FOMO. This, I think, is such an interesting point. I do think that the strongest outlier of exclusives, the biggest selling point, is not just, hey, we have this great game, don't you want to play it? It's that really good sense of, hey, don't you want to have this game the other people can't have? I do think that Astrobot sold a decent amount. I love Astrobot a lot, but I do think it also created an interesting sense of FOMO, where you started to see like Nintendo people who have obviously some of the best, historically best platformers of all time, seeing Astrobot and going, damn, do I want a PlayStation? Damn, do I want to like wait to come to PC and get a Steam Deck? Like, whoa, what do I have to do to actually experience that? FOMO is such a system seller, and it's also just free marketing. It creates that word of mouth buzz. Now, the thing I wanted to end with is two things. One, I do think other companies are making so much profit, they can afford price cuts. They are basically getting ready to do Black Friday sales and stuff. I don't think you're going to see any Black Friday sale whatsoever from Xbox this year, but I saw this very long argument from a bunch of Xbox journalists and Xbox fans. You can see Jez Corden here saying that, oh, it's popular to hate on Xbox right now. It's popular. Everybody's just bashing on Xbox because it's just the cool thing to do. And it's like, brother, it's not popular to be mad at them. It's right to be mad at them. They are stemming the tide. They won't do anything worthy of us. This is spurting everywhere, bro. You can't be serious. Here's something interesting is that Jez Corden essentially is trying to claim that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, they have actually been doing a lot behind the scenes to keep Xbox as together as it is. And I guess I find this to be incredibly odd because by any measurable metric, Xbox has been a catastrophe. And I guess maybe you could say, oh, the Phil Spencer era, the last 12 years, they're better than they could have been, right? The Xbox One generation was a dumpster fire. The Xbox One generation was unsalvageably bad, right? So I guess I just don't understand the mentality of saying, oh, it's bad, could have been worse, right? All right, so 5 rooms of the house burned down. It could have been 6. I guess I don't understand now at the very end trying to sort of prop up Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond at this point. I truly don't understand it. I've seen a lot of people in the Xbox community extremely mad at Jez. I've even heard of people saying that they don't want to like work with him or associate with him because he has insider info. He's done a lot of Xbox leaks, but a lot of people think that he's like trying to go down with the Titanic. He just wants to defend Xbox until every game is bad, until every studio is shut down. He's just going to be there trying to spin and spin and spin. And I got to say that I'm not even hating on the guy. I almost just find it baffling. A lot of this Xbox loyalty has withered up and blown away. It's dust in the wind, but it is still just this final remnants that makes me think, okay, what comes next? Is there going to be a massive acquisition? Are we actually going to see things like Call of Duty being sold off as a separate company? Are we going to see all this gutted and just turned into more AI branding? Are we going to actually see them try and sell, like, I don't know, 343 Industries merges with Bungie's shell and becomes a PlayStation studio? I guess I'm curious about how bad and how bloody the end of the end will be. I don't know. These are some sick, feverish, half thought out thoughts. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you could, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Oh man. Oh man. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.